You know, in designing the products that we do, our customers will say, well, we're worried about this bullet or we're worried about that bullet. So the government has actually established different levels of protection. This top panel is a panel that is called level 4. It's pretty much the highest level of protection that a policeman or a SWAT team would ever need. It protects against a bullet that is called the .30-06 armor-piercing round. And here's the bullet right here. They're very large, very fast, very deadly. But to even make them more deadly, they put what is called a hardened tungsten penetrator inside this bullet. And this is what causes the real damage with the .30-06 AP. Now this is a very difficult bullet to stop because it will go through about 1 inch of solid steel. You can't really make bunkers out of steel because they're just so heavy, you just couldn't even move them. So to keep them lightweight, about 4 times lighter than steel would be, we've come up with a ceramic panel, and that's what you're looking at right here. And you can see that this bullet actually went into the panel, but as you will see in the back, that it does not get out. This panel, it's about 1 inch thick, and it actually absorbs or swallows the penetrator. Now, it also can take multiple hits, so you can hit this lots of times without damaging the panel to a point where it could get through. One of our test panels, we shot it 11 times, and it was still very much intact. Now, the glass is also an issue because the operators or the police officers have got to see what's going on. You can't put them in the back of a solid panel. So the glass that they look through has also got to be very, very robust. This is a sample of our level 4 glass. This was shot with the same penetrator that this panel was. And you can see from the front, as the penetrator goes through the glass, it has to fight about 12 different layers of material, and by that time it's out of gas. And if you look at the back of it, you will see that although there's a little bit of deformation, that the bullet does not get out. So the glass is actually capable of swallowing or capturing the penetrator just like the ceramic panel is. Now, a step up is the 50 cal panel. The military is concerned about the 50 cal, and a lot of snipers use the 50 cal, so it's out there. Now, what they're doing to make the bullet even more destructive is they're putting a tungsten penetrator. It weighs 708 grains, so it's almost 8 times heavier than the one for the level 4. And this is what the penetrator looks like. This is the 50 cal bullet, and as you can see, it's quite a bit larger than the .30-06 AP round. In fact, this has so much power that it hits with about 15,000 foot-pounds. Now that would be like, say, 5 or 6 cars. If you could exert all that energy in one little point, that's how hard it hits. So this has the penetrator built into it, as you can see, and it flies at 3,000 feet per second, which is about 6 or 7 times the speed of sound. And when it hits, it could go through about 2 inches of solid steel. Now again, making a bunker out of solid steel would be so heavy, you just couldn't even hardly ship it or transport it or move it. So this is our new ceramic panel. It's about 2 inches thick, and it is capable of absorbing the 50 cal armor-piercing round, the 708 grain tungsten penetrator. And it also can take multiple hit, meaning that if there's just one shot sent into the panel, it doesn't destroy the integrity of the panel, and it can take multiple hits over and over and over. And if you'll look at the back of this panel, you might see a little tiny bit of deformation, but these panels and these glass have been designed to defeat not only the 36 AP round, but the 50 cal AP round. And that's kind of the wrap-up of the ceramic panels that we make. Earlier I was mentioning that we manufacture a classroom ballistic barrier. Well, this kind of explains the problem. Most doors in school are fairly lightweight, to tell you the truth. When we shot this with a shotgun, just to show how easily a door could be breached. Now, all windows are found in doors nowadays, and the bad guy could essentially just shoot the window out or break it out, reach in, unlock the door, and have access to the kids. He could shoot the lock off, he could shoot the hinges off, but it's actually quite easy, just a matter of a few seconds, to breach a door into a classroom if the bad guy wants in. So the solution is to have a second barrier that he cannot get through. And I'll go ahead and close that, and that will demonstrate what the teacher would actually do if the school was told to go in lockdown. Because as of right now, there's only a door that's either made of wood or perhaps lightweight steel that is separating her children and her from the bad guys. So she would just grab the panel that's actually disguised as a corkboard, and she just slides it closed. The door now has automatically locked, and this is what the bad guy would have to get through. We shot this pretty much at point blank range with a 12 gauge shotgun, and you can see that there's very little damage, no penetration. You could take an axe or a hammer to it. There's no way to try and pry it open because it overlaps all the way around. There's no way to lift it off, so the bad guy would just give up and go on. And that is our ballistic classroom barrier by S.O.B Technologies. We have a couple of other products that I wanted to introduce to you today while we're here at the SHOT Show. This might look like any normal clipboard that a student might have or an officer might have to write a ticket or whatever, but it is not. It is very unique in the fact that it's actually a ballistic clipboard. But the good thing about this is it can be used actually to save a life. So what they would do is they would take the clipboard up, and they can use it in two ways. They could use it as a device to turn the gun away or actually stop the bullet. So the officer would hold this up in front of the gun, and the clipboard is capable of taking multiple hits with any handgun or shotgun. We've taken the idea of the ballistic clipboard and we've taken it to the classroom. This would be a typical backpack that any student might have, and it's not ballistic at all. They're quite inexpensive, but we've come up with a line of backpack inserts. So what you would do is you would just insert it in the backpack, and he could put the rest of his books in there, and you would just teach him that if there's ever a situation that might arise where he feels uncomfortable, they would take the backpack and hold it to their chest. And the clipboard and the backpack insert are just two more products that S.O.B Technologies has in their arsenal to fight the bad guys of today.